Shalom, brothers and sisters.
Shalom, everybody.
Yeah, we got the language of creation chapter, Gimel. Yeah, 3.
Gimel, yes.
That's right.
The camel.
Yeah,
The spirit.
The spirit,
The
yeah.
Ruach.
It's bringing.
Hakodesh.
That's right.
All right. Who's reading?
I think you are.
I'll read. Chapter 3, Returning to the Garden of Eden.
Bam, that's where we're going.
Yah planted a garden eastward in Eden, and there he put the human he had formed. That was a little prelude. Here we go. From a strictly materialistic perspective, science has debunked most of traditional cosmology. However, as discussed in the previous chapter, the highest level of biblical interpretation has been left intact by scientific discovery. Moreover, this level is the only one that truly matters from a spiritual perspective because it fully encapsulates the meaning of humanity within creation. Unfortunately, the higher levels of interpretation have been marginalized in recent times because of the scientific ability to explain phenomena exclusively in terms of matter and mechanical causality. Nevertheless, it is a mistake to interpret the Bible using a scientific model of the universe instead of its own cosmological perspective, no matter how archaic it may appear to modern sensibilities. And here we have an image. You can see we have on the left, dentocentric, which looks to me like, I don't know, you tell me, Johnny. What does that look like to you?
Dentrocentric. So that's the connection between the spirit, the spiritual, and the earth, you know. And then we got...
Oh, actually, we got to go right to left because we're Hebrews.
Okay.
We're Hebrews. Heliocentric, so that is the sun.
And the earth.
E is earth. Then
Revolving.
geocentric, where earth is in the middle, sun's revolving.
Right.
Dentrocentric is... yeah, the sun revolving around heaven and earth.
Boom.
There we go.
It's showing that heaven and earth are connected,
Right.
and there's always a higher purpose and meaning to things that are happening.
Amen.
If we see geocentric, sure, the sun's revolving around the earth, but there's no meaning. You don't. They can't. They don't connect the higher purpose of reality with what's going on.
Right.
But in dentrocentric, we're connecting everything.
Yeah.
Okay. My turn to read?
My turn.
Alright, bust.
Admittedly, interpreting the Bible with its own cosmology is a difficult
I
task
can't see it.
because our current worldview has little in common with that ancient perspective. This huge discrepancy was
Inevitable.
How you say it?
Inevitable.
Inevitable, because we arrived at it by artificially wrapping our natural perceptions with telescopes and microscopes. At this point, humanity has opened its eyes to such an extent that our conception of space and time corresponds to the point of view of an alien robot gazing at our solar system from a faraway region. To rediscover the biblical point of view, we must pretend that our eyes are not geared with thousands of telescopes and microscopes, and that we care little for quasars and quarks. Moreover, we will need to reposition ourselves within space and time by looking past the heliocentric and geocentric viewpoints towards an ancient cosmology. This archaic worldview may be described as tree-centric or dentrocentric, for lack of a better word. We will temporarily adopt this perspective to rediscover ancient biblical cosmology and reclaim its metaphysical foundations. That was it, chapter 4.
Boom, explain it, bruh.
So we are moving, like we kind of said before. I really like how he explains this. We view this earth, our lives, with telescopes and microscopes. Right? Everything, the things that are furthest away from us and completely different from our everyday perspective on life is how we try to make sense of this world. And that causes a
Dissonance, maybe?
dissonance is a good word. between
Please explain what that word means to the noobs over here.
dissonance.
Dissonance is like sort of an unfamiliarity or like a separation.
Yeah, like a disconnection
Yeah.
type of thing.
Yeah.
And so
So,
it's hard to realize the bigger meaning of life because we have been taught that everything is happening randomly and things are happening throughout the universe. There's probably life in other planets, and we're really meaningless in this life. We are just but a speck in this whole universe, and we're just going to die and become a speck again.
Mm-hmm.
And creates a society of nihilism, and it turns into a world that is all about material goods because we eat and drink today for tomorrow we die. That's the idea.
There's got to be more.
There is more.
there is more. Yeah. There ain't that kind of thinking ain't, tricking me.
Right.
Yeah, me either.
That's because we had an experience with the Creator through Mashiach and His Word. So,
Amen.
there's no way the world could tell me how to view.
Yes.
The world.
You always got to come back to that question: where was that first life formed? Because that's Yahuwah. Yahuwah created life. Yahuwah is life.
Yeah, he was always.
And in that science way of looking at it, it's like you can't create something out of nothing unless you have Yahuwah.
Have you heard the word bara?
Yeah.
That's creating out of nothing.
Yes.
Bam!
And so when you get the dendrocentric model or tree-like vision of the world,
Yeah.
what is it? If you see the picture, it's a reflection of itself, right? And so even though like a real tree, you have the root system and then you have the top. But if you look at it, they're not exactly representations of each other, right? They look similar.
Right,
And that is the fractal reality. They share the same fractal reality, but have its own individual perspective, right?
Yeah.
It looks different so we each
Yeah.
are a fractal of reality, but we all have our own identity.
Right. Incredible.
But it's a reflection still of the higher things.
Right. Oh, I love it. Maybe you're reflecting an angel, Bernie. All right. Shalom, brothers and sisters.